greatest team in off-road meets the toughest one-day off-road event in the world. There's 2 weeks of racing and chaos leading to the pinnacle Race of Kings. Monster Energy's legendary off-road team congregates each year in the Mojave Desert for 2 weeks of desert and rock racing. It's a happening that is often equated to the Burning Man of off-road, where 100,000 fans turn out to watch top racers do the rock dance. Truly an experience that is like nothing else in off-road, really nothing else in racing. A desolate Mojave lakebed in California for 3 weeks in the dead of winter becomes a motorhome city, full of enthusiasts, racers, crews, spectators, and everyone in between, all in one place to celebrate a race held in the most challenging environment in racing, the rocks. This is the Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, and we are the Monster Energy team taking our shot at earning the coveted Scepter. The trophy the Race of Kings champion will hoist at the end of this 3 weeks. As a company, Monster Energy has been creating energy-filled drinks for years and has been fueling core athletes in sports worldwide. Monster athletes who have been crowned king are back for 2025. Shannon Campbell and Lauren Healy have both won the Race of Kings multiple times. They are joined by their Monster Energy teammates, desert specialists like 2019 Desert Race King Luke McMillan and UTV ace Phil Blurton, the Terrible Herps team, and rock racers Vaughn Jr., a drift star turned rock donkey, and Casey Curry, whose family is legendary in off-road racing. I'm your host, Cameron Steele, a Baja 1000 champion, but I want to be king. Not a poser, but I've yet to be verified in the rocks. I've been with the Monster Familia for 2 decades, and alongside different teammates, all race in 6 categories, starting with motos week 1 and wrapping up with the Race of Kings week 3. I don't need this aggravation in my life, but for some reason, I keep coming back, beating my head against the rocks. This is the Monster Energy team taking on the 19th annual Optima Batteries King of the Hammers. Let's burn some fuel, take on the rocks. King of the Hammers is the creation of rock-passionate Dave Cole, who has as much fun on the trails as anyone. 3 weeks of racing and stunning fans, King of the Hammers builds to a crescendo over a couple weeks where the final act is the Race of Kings. You may ask, what the heck is King of the Hammers?
We take 100,000 off-road enthusiasts, mix them out here in the desert, no cell service, no electrical grid, and build a city. And we race through it for 3 weeks. Dirt bikes start first, trophy trucks, desert race the next weekend, and then all concludes with the actual King of the Hammers races, which is 3 days of that. UTVs, EMC race, and then the big 4,400 race.
One of the hardest off-road races in the U.S.
You got to show up ready to go, so preparation is key. If the desert doesn't take you out, the rocks will.
Like I'm more 50% mental and 50% vehicle and physical as well, so it's definitely a trying race to take you to other limits that you have to find yourself in.
And I keep coming back because this is like the most competition that you can get all year. It's the only race that we get all the short course racers, all the desert racers, all the rock bouncers, everybody's in one place. So it's really like the proving grounds of off-road.
Got all the different kinds of terrain. They build us a short course track out here for the infield to jump and do a bunch of stuff on, and then we go out to the desert, run desert sections, and then right out of the desert into some of the gnarliest rocks you'll ever see in the world.
Three words for Hammers: gathering of the tribe. The entire desert community is here. Insane with the amount of vehicles, racers, people, fans all gathered in one spot. Emotional. Being out there racing in the deserts we all grew up in, being connected to it. Those are my 3 words.
King of the Hammers to me, I've never been to Burning Man, but it's something like Burning Man.
Burning Man.
Burning Man.
Burning Man.
Burning Man for gearheads.
Wide open.
Badass rocks.
Oh man, King of the Hammers is gnarly.
Amazing.
It's insane.
It's brutal.
Crazy.
I only need one word, that's just chaos.
Wide open fun, that is King of the Hammers.
Along this journey to the Race of Kings, we will meet key members of our Monster Energy team, and no one races harder than three-time king Shannon Campbell. He is a hardcore, rock-smashing champion.
Hey, my name's Shannon Campbell. I'm from Lakeside, Arizona. I've been racing KOH since the second year they had it, which would be 2008. First year out, I won. Everybody said don't win a guy on a one-seater with air shocks would ever win this, and I started dead last and finished first. I got lucky. I started back in the 90s and started building Jeeps and wheeling on the weekends with my friends, just doing dumb stuff, and ended up evolving into rock crawling and competition rock crawling, and then, you know, eventually racing. Yep, my kids, I got them involved when I think they were, you know, Waylon started riding when he was 11 and started competing at 14, and my daughter wanted to follow suit and get in the mix of the things, and yeah, it's been kind of a family affair. Waylon, I remember passing him out there in the middle of nowhere. We got to this next checkpoint, and the course kind of went out here a little bit, and I jumped out of the wash. He went that way, and I went this way, beat him to the checkpoint. All I had to do was finish on corrected time, and I got him, and he ended up getting me. We dropped back door, and he took off thinking, oh yeah, I won, I'm winning, you know what I mean? And he crossed the finish line, and I came in right behind him on 3 wheels, and you know, a lot of people were mad, like, I can't believe you didn't let your son win. I was like, man, I don't let anyone win. You know, it takes a lot of work to get here, and he's got his whole life to do this. Every time I've won this race, it wasn't because I was out front killing it, you know. I've won from not giving up. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm done, I'm never gonna make it. And I just kept going, you just never quit, you know, and it's crazy. You can't give up because everybody else is having the same day you are. You can go as hard as you want, but it's not done till the fat lady sings at the end. You get that trophy in your hand.
Once we catch our breath from Shannon's antics, we'll get you some Racing Kings qualifying as the Monster Energy team takes on the Hammers, presented by Sparco Motorsports. It's time to qualify as we follow the Monster Energy team taking on King of the Hammers, presented by Sparco Motorsports. The Race of Kings offers no guarantees. Nothing about the rocks that King of the Hammers does. Finishing is a stretch for most, and winning is equal parts hauling the mail and pure survival. 4400 is the unlimited class of racing at Hammers. There are others, but 4400 is the last and most important race of the 3 weeks, which is why it's known as the Race of Kings. Qualifying for start positions is a part of the madness known as King of the Hammers, and the Monster Energy team is always ready to take their shot at the clean air start position that is earned by being the fastest qualifier.
You can make or break your whole weekend. You go take the chances to push fast to be up front, and you have the risk of starting dead last because you made a silly little mistake.
I got through there without taking out a tire or tearing anything up, so I'm happy.
We had a strategy going in. We just want to finish in a good spot. I'm not here to send it. I didn't even take my spare tire off.
Yeah, we got the car just a few days ago. We've been struggling with teething pains, and I suck. Those two things together usually don't equate good qualifying.
Gotta go out with a bang. Put it on my team and on my name. Once a minute, better stay out my lane. Quality, let me tell you one more thing. If you can't stand the heat, man, better watch out for the rain. Yeah.
And now Vaughn, he is such a talented driver, and he's going to be giving absolutely everything out here during our Power Hour session. Has he got what it takes to unseat Paul Wolf at the top of this field? This is a man who needs no introduction. It is three-time king, Shannon Campbell. The clock ticks by, it's a 2:58. Lauren Healy moves into second position, just in front of Vaughn Gittin Jr.
I'm Lauren Healy out of Farmington, New Mexico, and we're here at the 2025 King of the Hammers. So I've been racing King of the Hammers since 2009 was my very first year. Got completely hooked and broke a car in half trying to compete with the King of the Hammers. Came back, built a real race truck and won it the next year and been here ever since.
I'm Vaughn Jr. and I'm about to take on the 2025 King of the Hammers here in Johnson Valley in both the 4600 class and the 4400 class from behind the wheel of my Broncos. Most people know me from driving my Ford Mustang RTR in Formula Drift. And so they're like, what are you doing racing off-road? Well, a lot of people don't know, but I used to race motocross. Like I started in the dirt, went to drifting, and then I was actually on vacation with my family in Jamaica. Nitto called me and said, hey, we've got this truck and opportunity for you to race King of the Hammers. And I was like, is that race with like the big rocks and the desert and everything? And they're like, yep. So I showed up here to freaking, you know, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, Burning Man with race cars, whatever you want to call it. And I found myself hopping in this truck and then Lauren Healy hops in the passenger seat.
Had no idea what he was getting into. Came out to this Burning Man off-road event and got into what was a spec class back then. And, you know, he just picked it up really quick. You know, I gave him the, you know, the dime tour of an Ultra 4 truck, showed him how to work it, how to rock climb like, you know, 1 or 2 very small trails.
Shows me how to, you know, the normal controls and takes me over to a waterfall and makes me go up this waterfall that like at the time I was like, this is like the rookie trick, right? Like it was like straight up.
He was just hooked. So he, you know, went back, won a 4500 championship. And, you know, we just maintained a good friendship through that, just giving him guidance and helping him learn and kind of giving him the cheat card along the way to where we were at. And at one point, you know, it just made sense for us to partner up. I had a lot of strengths and weaknesses and same with him. And, you know, when you put that together, kind of can make a power team. And you know, that's what's developed over the last, you know, 5 years of us being, you know, partners in the business and very good friends.
After a decade of rock racing, King of the Hammers invited the desert racers to join, featuring T1 trucks, which are completely unlimited. The desert racing specialists jumped in to join the fun, up to 140 miles an hour across the bumps of the Mojave, wide open. No rock trails, these are high-speed desert specialists. Baja winners from the Monster Energy family competing in T1 here include the Terrible Herps 1-9 team, myself teamed with Montana's Tracy Poole in his truck, and Team Beast driver 2019 Desert King, Luke McMillan. Luke is desert racing royalty and a multi-time Baja 1000 champion. His grandfather, dad, and uncle are all legends, and Luke is one of the finest in our sport, and he's certainly a favorite to win here.
Drivers, start your engines. It's time to go racing.
We are underway for the Toyo Tire Desert Challenge presented by Monster Energy. Christopher Boulevardy in that pole position out front.
Yeah, now look at this. This is a proper battle. This is Carl Jurgensen against Big Booty Judy Dale Dondale. And again, the horsepower powers off into the distance.
Yeah, here's one to watch right here. Luke McMillan with adjusted time on their side.
Driving the Beast truck right there, launching that jump right there.
And there's Thor Herbst, and this is the T1 entry from Herbst Motorsports. Car 19, such an iconic vehicle. The Herbst dynasty just moves on and on. So successful, so many podiums, so many wins.
There's Cameron's truck right there.
Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Famer Cameron Steele heading out against Jordan Brenthal.
Well, you know, Kyle right now is in a, you know, the spec truck as we talked about, okay, pretty much. And it's a Camberg racing truck, awesome truck. And Kyle, this guy can drive whatever. You know, he's driven everything out there, and he's one of the best drivers out here.
But check out this fantastic footage here. Look at this, and we're starting to see that dust hanging out there on the lake beds.
And that is the number 19 of Thor Herbst.
It isn't, and you can just see that car just going side to side. He's just trying to think, what's my better line? He's trying to find that better thing.
Luke was railing the desert race using superior speed and lines to work through the pack. Unfortunately, he came up against a mechanical that would end his quest. We raced the Vigilante racing truck, and a miscalculation with brake O-rings caused a failure that resulted in a fire in the pits. Fortunately, it was a minor fire, but it took us out of the race. Monster's Cowboy Cerrone has been doing some desert racing when he has time off from mixed martial arts, but his truck suffered a knockout. Pierce Herbst in the 530 horsepower T2 class was doing work and looking solid on his way to a podium finish. He seemed just off the pace of beast driver Kyle Jurgensen, who was running down the T1 Unlimited trucks.
Oh, look at this, Kyle Jurgensen. Wheel off the ground there as he makes his way through these rocks. And it really is like threading a needle, taking these huge cars through these tiny little rock trails. Okay, here we go. This is second place overall and first in T2. This is none other than Kyle Jurgensen in the Camber Kinetics truck, and he's crossing the line to take the checkered flag and the win in T2.
The Terrible Herbst team would podium in both classes, and Kyle Jurgensen would win T2 and finish second overall. Congratulations to the Optima Batteries number 94 of Christopher Povardi on earning the desert win. The Monster Energy team taking on King of the Hammers, presented by Sparco Motorsports, is brought to you by Raceline Wheels, FK Rod Ends, Fox Racing Shocks, Yokohama Tire, Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Monster Energy team battling King of the Hammers.
I'm Cameron Steele, driver of the number 16 Monster Energy Yokohama everything. 6 classes, here we go. I do a little bit of everything. I own an off-road shop with some partners called Baja HQ. I race off-road cars for Monster in Yokohama. A trophy truck racer in the Score Series, won the Baja 1000 in 2018. And my goal is to be the King of the Hammers, or win the Race of Kings here at King of the Hammers. And it's something that we've been working really hard at. Well, if I was going to pick my favorite vehicle to race, I'd say the moto, right? Because I love the motos. I'm not the best at it though. I'm on a moto ride while they're racing. So my favorite might be the EMC. I really like the Everyman Challenge style. I like the fact that it's more of a run what you brung class, not a full factory built vehicle. My partner, Brian Wood, has a car he's been working with over the last decade, and it's a lot of fun just to go out there. He's next to me and we're out there live axle, no independent suspension, and just working our way through the rocks. I love the EMC race. We've had a bit of a dastardly trip. The moto didn't go very good. I only got one completed lap in, so I officially suck. And then the UTVs, I accidentally downshifted in our Can-Am and bent the front drive shaft, so that sucked. And the desert race with the trophy truck teamed up with Tracy Poole, somehow or another, we had the wrong seal size in the rear brakes, and that let the fluid come out once it got hot, caught on fire. That sucked. So after sucking in all those classes, I'm just hopeful that the EMC race goes way better. You know, Yokohama's our sponsor and the sponsor of the event. It would be great to win that, but just hopeful to get inside the top 5. If we get a podium, even better.
I just love King of the Hammers, and while some racers do compete in 2 classes, or maybe 3, I am the only racer attempting 6 races over the 3 weekends of Hammers. Not just to race, but to podium in all the car and truck classes. The stats say I have the most driver starts in King of the Hammers history, and I want to turn as many that we can into success stories. The Yokohama Everyman Challenge is one of 2 races remaining, and we need a podium.
Yeah, baby. Hammer time. That's right. The DA is here to crawl rocks, race connector trails, and zip through the desert. Pretty stoked, actually. Just another beautiful day at the Hammers, and very stoked on the Monster Energy Yokohama program. EMC 4400 still to come.
For some, it's a 3-piece suit. For me, it's a Sparco race suit.
And for me, it feels very calm, and we know what to do, right? The coaching's done. It's time to play the game.
It's a beautiful day here in Johnson Valley, California, here at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance. And right now it is all about the Yokohama Everyman Challenge. We have 3 classes racing. We have the 4800 Brandt Motorsports Legends class, the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class, and the 4600 Current Enterprises Stock class.
The Yokohama Everyman Challenge has nearly 100 cars on track, and the leaders from the fastest class, 4800, have completed the desert lap. Like the 4400 race still to come, the EMC race takes on the desert and then the rocks. Brett Harrell, Jeff Martin, and the number 16 with Brian Wood and I are the top 3 after lap 1. We made some moves and we were the first car to the rocks on lap 2, with about a 10-minute lead. Tire placement is key, and I made a mistake hitting a rock at the top of the trail called Her Problem. A rock I had hit 2 years before as well. I'm a dum-dum.
First thing is I hit a rock a little hard and popped the power steering line off. Thankfully, that's all it was. Mr. Fix-It over here was like, I got it, no problems.
As we used our spare tranny fluid to fill the steering reservoir, Brett Harrell led a group of 3 down Chocolate Thunder, closing in on us just 2 trails away. On the move again, we were leading through Lasernut Alley. Harrell and Woody Rose gave chase, with Woody helping Brent off a rock. Amber Slauson was crawling up through the pack on everyone. Yokohama Tire outfitted racer Cody Young was directly behind her. Here's Cody making the move past Amber in Lasernut Alley, a tough single-track rock section right in front of the fans. This is a section we didn't get to see until race day. Harrell, Woody, Cody, and Amber were in a tight battle while we had the number 16 approaching the toughest spot on the track, the legendary Jackhammer pinch point.
The donkey move came at Jack. I tried to be too smooth, and I tried to count on just like kind of getting up in there and just spinning. It didn't work, and I ended up using up the tranny a little bit.
Okay, now this is top news because those 4 cars behind are catching very fast indeed.
And with where Cameron is too, I mean, is there an easy way around for these cars as well?
Oh, here we go. Oh, he makes the move. Does he get the pass up? Oh, that was brutality. We love that. When all else fails, unleash unbelievable horsepower. And that's exactly what Cody's done there.
We didn't know until we backed out of the pinch point, but we had a transmission fluid leak which was causing us to slip the transmission. Brian could fix it, but we didn't have any more fluid. We had to barter with our Trent Fabrication sister car to help them through the rocks, and they would give us fluid. I helped Woody on Jack while Brian fixed the car. Brian then smashed the number 16 up the trail as I should have. Tranny fixed, and the 16 was back in the battle after losing 5 positions. Cody Young now held the lead, headed to the top of Jackhammer Ridgeline, the most spectacular and exposed spot at the Hammers. It gives me the creeps. Amber chased Cody down and would eventually pass him in outer limits, but this shot right here shows her taking a line made by her husband, King of the Hammers legend and multi-time King Randy a couple years ago, but for the first time was too far away from an official virtual rock checkpoint. This RCP, as they are known, would cost Amber the win with a 15-minute penalty. This same virtual rock checkpoint would catch us in the number 16, costing us the 2nd position. Cody Young, racing on Yokohama tires, is your EMC champion for 2025, followed by Amber Slauson, and the Monster Energy Yokohama number 16 is 3rd. 6 seconds out of second.
I am excited. First, I want to say I love you to my wife and kids, and I want to thank the Lord for getting us here safely. And it's just a hell of a race. I mean, Dave Cole's a maniac. The course he lays out with all his people here at King of the Hammers is unbelievable. 0 flaps. Yokohama's owned it. We qualified on these tires. We raced on these tires. Finished on these tires. You know, you always want to win, but we're stoked to be here at the finish and stoked to have the Monster Energy Yokohama tire number 16 make it to the podium.
Good morning, Johnson Valley, California. What a beautiful day. The sun is shining and we are here for the big one. This is the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance. And it is all of the big guns on the line today for the Nitto Race of Kings.
None of the drivers knew what lap 3 was until yesterday.
And no pre-running on lap 3.
And no pre-running. So we are going to see strategy come into play for sure this year in the race, because we've got 2 laps that they were able to pre-run, make extensive course notes on, but going into lap 3, actually they're kind of going in blind.
And the lap of mystery.
That's what we're calling it, the magical mystery lap.
Starting from the front row and taking the whole shot is the number 67 of Lauren Healy. He'll lead the Race of Kings into the desert.
Been a really long week, but this is what all the work and preparation and everything we put in for all year. So glad it's finally race day. King of the Hammers it's the toughest race, one-day race in the world for a reason, and it's time to go find out what we're made of.
And off the line next, number 25 of Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Jeremy Dickinson out of Concord, North Carolina, with RTR Off-Road and that Trident Engineering mid-engine 2CA IFS Bronco.
Feeling amazing, man. Super pumped to be here. Starting second row, and looking forward to less dust than everybody else, and just gonna play it smart and push my pace, and most importantly, have more fun than anybody else out there.
JP Gomez, number 82, in that Joe Thompson UFO.
Yeah, of course, JP Gomez is our current king, but there will be a new king today. Can he hold on to that title? Can he become a 2-time king like his brother Raul?
Off the line next is Casey Curry and Warren Anderson out of Norco, California, with Curry Racing.
It's gonna be a long day, and yeah, we're ready. The wind was blowing this morning. Hopefully keep blowing to get the dust out of the way, but the rocks are gonna be brutal, and yeah, full send.
Been prepping for this thing for 6 months, man. I'm ready. Never been readier. I got me a badass co-driver, and I'm ready to let her eat.
I'm ready. I mean, we've been here since Moto's racing and raced the desert race. None of it went great, but we did get 3rd in the Yokohama Everyman Challenge, so now we're ready. First time ever in this car, so it is time for the Hammers and 3 laps of pure chaos, mayhem, and rocks. Let's do this.
With a crap qualifying run, we got to pass about 40 cars on lap 1, including this one on Bailey Campbell at Emerson Ridge. Lauren has led the pack convincingly from the start over the super quick Paul Wolf. One of the 3 Can-Ams in the field, driven by Kyle Cheney, is 3rd. Kyle was the first to finish in 2024, but was not the eventual winner. Vaughn in the number 25 is on pace, but has been reporting braking issues. He certainly is putting on a show for the chopper. Also running inside the top 10 on lap 1 is Casey Curry, whose family is legendary in the sport of off-road.
Casey Curry from Corona, California. I'm a Dakar champion, Baja champion, and King of the Hammers lover. Short course started fading, and it was time for a change. Yeah, we decided to build the trophy Jeep, and it's just been an evolution. We wanted to be different than everybody else and build like a pretty radical vehicle that can compete at the King of the Hammers and also compete in Baja. It's done them both very well, and we love it. Big fan of just learning and challenging ourselves and all the sponsors we have and partners. We're always creating new things and have new ideas.
see you guys coming down, and it's downhill, but it's nothing. It's like,
yeah, and it's really comfortable. We just did 100 up at, I swear to God, it wasn't even full throttle.
She's got a lot of power. She's happy. Super good. So all the changes we made are working out. So it's pretty unbelievable. So a little tuning with the Dugan's boys, and then we're gonna run the rocks, get this thing going, see how it goes. All right, here we are, King of the Hammers 2025, and the Trophy Jeep is unbelievable. It's been an amazing, stressful, probably 5 months, and after today, we made the right move. So we made gearing changes in the front and rear end, obviously Curry Enterprises, and the family built the batteries we're in. It takes a huge team and effort, and here we are. Let's do it again.
You know, that's someone that we didn't talk about a lot so far today, Jim. Casey Curry. Casey Curry last year, he was doing incredibly well in that trophy Jeep, and he's brought it back this year to basically try to repeat that same adventure. And that's someone who also has an incredible amount of experience in the rocks. Unfortunately, he still has not won this race.
Casey is in the first 5 or 6 cars on time, and the leaders are making quick work of the desert lap.
But look at this. This is our race leader. This is Lauren Healy heading back in to complete lap 1. Look at the clock. What is the clock? Oh my word, this is absolutely smoking hot.
9 o'clock exactly.
As Lauren Healy peels off to go into the pits, we're going to throw it down to Miles, our man with the mic in the pits. Miles, take it away.
Thank you, Jim. I am down here in this RTR Ford Bronco is absolute perfect shape. All 4 Nitto tires look like they're brand new. This car is ready to rock and roll.
Lauren averaged about 60 miles an hour on the desert lap, and he now heads out to face 2 laps of rocks, including lap 3, which no one has seen and which features trails none of our racers have ever been on. Paul Wolf is second. Kyle Cheney is third. And here's Casey, who's requesting a slight adjustment from Fox Racing Shocks engineer Mike Kim.
Good, he wanted a little bit extra compression in the back, so we just made a quick adjustment. Going out for lap 2, it's looking good.
Overshooting his pit box, Vaughn has had brake issues the entire first lap.
So about 15, 20 miles into the desert, I completely lost my brakes. The push rod that pushes the master cylinder snapped. So I've been racing with 0 brakes. My pedals just flopping.
Vaughn's team will have to figure out the brake fix while the race clock keeps ticking, with racers already out on lap 2. We are gutted as the brake issue we have been having will likely take us out of the race. I'm disgusted this is how our year's worth of planning is going to end up. The Monster Energy team taking on King of the Hammers, presented by Sparco, is brought to you by FK Rod Ends, Raceline Wheels, RCV Performance Products, and by Baja HQ Off-Road Aftermarket Outfitters. Welcome back as the Monster Energy team takes on King of the Hammers. Earlier this week, I broke down the trail known as Jackhammer.
This is the meat and potatoes of Jackhammer. Take a look right here, Jackhammer Canyon. This is the plaque. Victor Valley Four Wheelers broke it, and they have their plaque up there. They are really responsible for a lot of what you see here in the Hammer trails. Since we have a veiled lap number 3 for the 4400 cars, we know this is lap 2, and we know that the UTVs and EMC also have to come here. This is where you got to start the climb, and if you look up there, the next move is getting around that giant boulder in between the pinch of the mountain. Take a look at this. Coming around the corner, you have to get around this giant rock, the giant face. There's just enough room for a really wide car, but there's a couple kind of lines here, but look at the undercut. Once you've gotten around that big rock pinch point, climb through the ledge, which is kind of the spot on Jack, you have to choose right or left here. And as you can see, if you look left, look at these ledges. Double steps. This right lane is also tough. And you have to really be careful with where you put your tires and trailing arms and where you get bound up. So this is the top of the pinch point. Still to come. Trailing to the top, and then the step onto the spine. Jack's not over yet. Welcome back to the Monster Energy coverage of the King of the Hammers, Cameron Steele and Wayne Israelson here. We are the number 16 Monster Energy Yokohama car, and we are out of the race. We've been struggling a little bit since the end of lap 1, and the good news is that our partner at Monster Energy, Lauren Healy, has been waxing people, and so far he's looking great. Casey Curry's having a good run. We also know that Jason Shear is putting a run on from the back since he had a problem in qualifying, so we'll see how it ends up. Let's check out some more race action.
So far, it's been all desert, but our leader from the Monster Energy team, Lauren Healy, is now in the rocks. He's through the new Tortuga Trail, down Chocolate Thunder, and now in trails Her Problem and Laser Nut Alley.
Look at the pace of this car coming through here. I mean, we're watching the Everyman Challenge cars coming through here, even the lead vehicles, and they were nowhere near this kind of brutal pace.
Lauren has entered the infamous Jackhammer Trail, with the lead now shrinking as number 1 qualifier Paul Wolf has a visual on the number 67. You can see line choices played a part in the race for the lead at Jackhammer. It's the first real test of big rocks and climbing, so any car issue will show itself here, and Lauren is said to have a front locker problem.
But that's where Paul Wolf took over the lead of the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance, and he is now our race leader in the Race of Kings here in Johnson Valley, California.
The pinch at Jack is where I found out we had a transmission issue one day ago while leading the EMC race. And Lauren is now seeing how his locker issue impacts his race.
Here is Lauren Healy. It looks like his co-driver is out and they are winching.
Lauren would clear Jack using his worn winch, but he's now over 15 minutes behind Paul. But there's a long way to go still. And if history repeats itself, leading KOH never works out well until the very end. Now tightening the gap is last year's winner JP Gomez in 3rd, with Josh Blyler 4th. Casey and Kyle Chaney in his Can-Am are battling for 5th, with Casey getting the advantage.
And it does look like that Lauren Healy might be catching Paul Wolf, but the battle royale right now is going on between Shannon Campbell, Christopher Branton, Waylon Campbell, and it looks like Jason Shearer has made his way past all of those vehicles. An absolute remarkable drive from the 3-time king, who started in 88th position this morning.
Our good buddy Jason Shearer has been ripping and is now 7th on course. He has passed 81 vehicles after braking and qualifying and having to start 88th out of approximately 103 vehicles. JP is now in Jackhammer with Josh right on his 6th. He needs a clean Jack to keep the pressure off. As we have seen, there are 2 lines, and JP can't miss on this section. He doesn't have a navigator, so winching is a huge effort as he has to get out and do it all himself. And he cleans it. Lauren is making great time and catching Paul for the lead as they approach one of the key checkpoints on the trail, Check Me Out, where the cars have to thread 2 flags to achieve the obstacle without penalty.
That is Paul.
Paul's
out of the
Paul
car.
is out winching.
And now this is interesting because this is an RCP. So
they have to go between those two flags.
they've got to go between those flags, otherwise they're going to take penalties. Now, well, there's lots of things going on here. Now, also, now you start to see
He's going to pull him out.
And they'll be pulling him out. And this is the top of Check Me Out. And this is a very difficult set of rocks here. We're going to see this claiming many victims today. This is interesting because he's getting his co-driver to set the winch line through, which is the right manoeuvre. So Lauren Healy looks like he's made his way through the top of Check Me Out.
Lauren is back to the lead as we go to Jack, where Kyle Cheney and Casey in the Monster Energy number 14 are waging war. Casey has a larger car with a giant 1,000 horsepower big block engine, and Cheney is a UTV that is much smaller and more nimble. Here, the father-son Campbell duo have no team orders. Shannon Campbell and son Waylon battle each other like unknown combatants, waging war as they smash rocks. Oh man, Lauren Healy is pulling over.
This is news right here. We are in car with Lauren Healy, stopped on course. They're not getting out of the car. They seem to just be sitting right now. So we're seeing cars go by them. That may have been Gomez going by him on the right. If it was, they were going by fast.
In the past, we've seen that leading this race is a poison chalice. We see it time and time again. People start this race, they're in the lead, they have a dominating lead, and then all of a sudden, something small puts them out of the race. Never know what's going to happen in this race.
Yeah, I was going to say probably the safest bet in this race is to say that whoever's leading it isn't going to win it.
The new leader is JP Gomez. He hoisted the Scepter last year in his first victory, and he will now be the first to take on the unknown trails of the Veiled Lap 3. Shearer and Blyler, as well as Kyle Cheney, are also through the end of Lap 2. And our Monster Energy teammate Casey Curry is right in the mix.
Just caught up with Ray Curry. Casey has a little bit of problem with the drivetrain.
Yeah, well, he has a complaint, but we're just on the outside, we're seeing them just tearing the rear tires up. But when big chunks come out of the tire, now the whole car's out of balance.
What could it be?
It looks like the front differential isn't pulling as hard as it could be.
An update directly from the boss, Ray Curry. Casey's still running right in that top 5, looking for a podium. The Veiled Lap has started now. Nobody knows what they're racing. It's going to leave a lot of mystery to it. Casey has a lot of experience, so don't count him out.
I wouldn't count him out.
Whatever.
Welcome back to the rock ache of our Monster Energy team's annual battle at King of the Hammers, presented by Sparco, where the goal is to be crowned king and hoist the coveted Scepter. Our number 16 effort started failing late lap 1 with brake issues and completely failed on lap 2 with a rear differential case fracture. Shannon Campbell smashed until he could no longer stay in the fray. Our 3-time king had to park it without seeing through the challenge. Lauren Healy is the owner of 2 Scepters and made us all proud, leading from the green flag all the way around lap 1 convincingly, until a fuel pickup issue parked him mid-lap 2. An unceremonious slowdown and pullover was the end of his day. Vaughn Jr. has put the work in to be right in the mix, running top 5 much of the early day, only to find himself tangling with rocks larger than his truck, which would end in a fully strapped-in flight back to the pits. Monster's final racer in the mix was Casey Curry, in search of his first Scepter. Running in the top group on lap 1, overcoming issues and pitting well on lap 2 had him in the mix for a podium finish late in the race. On the final lap, Casey was pushing forward when a winching mishap injured navigator Orrin Anderson and required medical attention. They had to leave the course to have Orrin's hand attended to and were out of the race. Another year of prep, planning, and practice, but it was not to be. The Monster team would not add our 6th Scepter, and the lead is now in the capable hands of JP Gomez.
Our current race leader is number 82, JP Gomez, last year's king. Can he do what only his brother and Jason Shearer have done before him and have a repeat back-to-back victory?
But the rocks would prove chaotic on the veiled lap 3, and JP would get bound up having to winch solo, and the world would see Kyle Chaney move to the front in his Can-Am UTV. Kyle was the first to finish in 2024, silencing the critics on a UTV's toughness, but not to be crowned king. In 2025, it is his year, and he brings the Can-Am home first through the checkers once again. And for the first time ever, a UTV has won the Race of Kings.
It is Kyle Chaney as he comes around, takes the final turner. There is the checkered flag, and there is our unofficial winner at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance.
Over 100 cars entered the Roctagon, and Kyle emerged with the Scepter. Congratulations to Kyle and his navigator, Terry Madden. For the Monster Energy team, the plan is simple. Return to the Hammers with even more planning, intense training, and an effort literally fit to be king. But in the end, as is always the case, the rocks will decide. We'll all be here for the 20th anniversary of the King of the Hammers in 2026. Only 364 days remain to be ready to hoist the Scepter.